Okay, so this is SIG Network Policy Sub-Project Meeting. Today is December 14th, 2020. I kindly remember all of you that this is an official meeting, so the code of conduct is running here. Please be nice with each other. Let's get started. So I will share my screen. Don't know if someone put something in the agenda. Okay. So you can see the agenda, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. I have like a lot of monitors and forget how. So do we have any newcomer today? Someone that's new? No. Okay. Hey, what's up, Jay?
No new people today?
I don't think so. Okay, so the next item that I've put in the agenda is about the Europe-friendly meeting decided. I think that Andrew Stoikos sent to us in Slack, but
Yeah, it's looks like Mondays from 6 to 6:30 a.m. PST. So I'm just gonna do what you said, use the same link, and we can just schedule that, put it into the agenda doc. Should be all good.
great. So I can probably help you, Andrew, because this time it's 11 a.m. here in Brazil. So I have also voted, so I can like help you when this is running. So I might help you with this. We just need to ask for KZ Davenport to add this in SIG Network meeting agenda. So this is an AI probably for me, or if anyone else wants to ping. Okay. Thank you for making this possible, Andrew.
No problem.
Great. So the next item from the agenda is the proposals review. So I've put port range as the first one because the proposal uh, got accepted by SIG Network folks, I think 2 weeks ago. So I have started to implement this. Andrew, Sikkim, and then Winship, they have put some changes there, some reviews. So I have started to do this Friday night, I think, and I know that Andrew is here, so I just need some more reviews from him, like if the REST implementation is right, if so I can move forward with the unit tests, and also because we put this as an AI for the PR. Antria, Calico, Cilium, and Red Hat, all of them, they are aware of the changes. So Thomas Graff answered me in Slack saying that they are following this one. Abhishek is taken care by the Antria side. Calico, I've told Casey in Calico Slack, and they said me that they are also following. So only Calico I have proposed myself to help them implement this in Calico side because I know a little bit about Calico code because this is what we use. And Red Hat folks, they are aware by Dan Winship and Antonio also. So I think that we are good to go here. I have like a to-do about documentation and unit tests, but that's it. And also wait for more reviews about that. So probably port range is going to ship in 121 as an alpha, and we are going to have this implemented by the CNIs also. Okay, so the next one is the namespace by name. Jay, do you wanna tell us about how is this going in the CAP review?
Let me see. I didn't check it today. Let me see. I think, I mean, there's nothing left to do. We've got a PR up, but we're just kind of spinning around on some stuff that's just getting someone to finally LGTM it. Let me see.
I think Jordan had a comment today, and Andrew's one comment is outstanding. I didn't resolve that because I wasn't quite sure which is the right place, but I believe he's already answered that. So maybe, I don't know, depends whether you or I, one of us will get to it today.
Yeah, the PR, the cap, Abhishek.
Oh, I'm talking about the cap. Oh, sorry, PR.
Yeah, the PR. Yeah, I'm talking about the. I've got a low bar over here, man. I
Okay.
want to get the cap merge. Let me see. Hold on. But yeah, me and Abhishek, I updated the thing last night. The thing Andrew mentioned about changing the constant, like using that constant, and that. So I got that done yesterday. Liggett has not LGTM'd it, but he did say he was okay LGTMing it. So we just need to, I guess, is anybody know if he's maybe on, like he might be out or something, I don't know, or he's just probably busy. So yeah, I'll just ping him again tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I have just one question, because I think that you are going directly to stable into GA, right, Jay? In the PR, it's not going to go through feature gates and from alpha to beta. I think that Jordan and Tim Hawking, they decided about going directly to GA, right?
Yeah, yep. They hugged it out. So we're set. They're just like, we're just gonna go GA. So I was like, thank God, because I didn't see the point of a feature gate. I mean, I see the theoretical point, and I see that there's a million arguments around it, but I don't see, from my selfish perspective, I see no value in it. Which is getting the feature in.
So I think that would be like just fine to probably change this. I don't know if this is still provisional or this is like implementable here, like in the cap. I don't know how they are following this one.
Well, I've been super conservative, and I added a huge block of, unresolved so that we could merge it and then iterate. Because I feel like any one of these comments is a time bomb waiting to go off of another 4 weeks of people going back and forth and without actually adding value. So, because I think ultimately what needs to happen is we just need to make a single PR to debate whatever the last one or two things are. You know what I mean? That's like what I was thinking. Like, I just feel like, otherwise this thing is just going to get dragged down and it's going to be lumped in with all the other unmerged keps. And that's my biggest fear. Right. So, okay. I agree with you that ideally we would just do it as implementable, and theoretically we're at that point, but because there's been no feedback in a week, and the last thing we heard was, I'd like to move forward with it as provisional, that, so we could hammer out the details in a follow-on. I just want to do that. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But
for me, there is no problem for me at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm open to not doing that, but that's my thinking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, bring it up again next week if we're there. If we're at next week and we still haven't got any feedback, maybe we'll just do that.
Okay. Yeah, this is something that I also wanted to ask for you folks, if we wanna like take some time between next week and the new year, or if you wanna keep following with the meetings in the next 2 weeks. But I will be here, so we can discuss this later. Yeah. So cluster scope and policies. Abhishek has added some notes here, but do you wanna speak about that?
Yes. So last week we kind of like put the API types on paper, or rather in the Google Doc, and like a sample YAML and what each field would mean. And what we decided that we'll try to explain this and bring it up to this community meeting on December 21. So we wanted to check whether everyone's available on that. Like there's no one who's taking a holiday as such on that day, so that we can get a wider audience and get a broader feedback. We are working on a slide deck. We've shared, everyone's going to be adding some content to it, and we plan to we plan to use our slide deck to propose or bring forward the proposal next week. So is everyone okay, or is anyone on PTO vacation plan for next Monday meeting?
Yeah, I think if there's not enough participants next week, then I think we should think about postponing it to the first week of January.
Oh, looks like one of our authors is going to be out. So I just got a message from Gobind that he's not available.
Yeah, no, it's not only COVID. I think that a bunch of us are going to be out, Abhishek. So that's the reason
I see. Okay.
I mean, I did talk to Gobind about it, and we thought like maybe it may be better. But I'm going to be available either way on 21st. Even though I'm taking the week off, I'll still be. If there is a meeting, I'll be happy to attend.
Yeah, and Abhishek, we don't have to block on my account, honestly. Like if everybody's here and we can make the first pass, I'm happy to just sit this one out. We can just discuss that another time. So no need to block on me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I feel like we're probably going to have 10 meetings about it anyways. What are we going to miss? What are we going to miss, right?
Yeah.
No, I think what we're trying to say is like, is there's going to be enough of a quorum on 21st for us to have the meeting?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not going to resolve in like one meeting, but do we want to start off by like, otherwise every subsequent meetings are going to be just a rehash of what happened.
Yeah, exactly. So, so if everyone on this call plans to attend next week, maybe we can. Sorry, Govind, but if we think that Jan first week or whenever the first time we meet in January if that's the better. If that's a better slot for a quorum, maybe we can do it then. So, but either way, I think we will at least ensure that we have a presentation by next Monday, because I think we plan to review it internally on this Thursday.
I'm okay either way. My vote is still just keep moving forward with it either way, but it's up to you all. Of course.
So let me ask you, Ricardo, are you going to be around next week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to be around Jay, right? So I'll be there. So
is Andrew going to be around?
Yeah, we'd like to have Andrew if possible.
I think that Andrew. Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
Which day?
Next Monday. This meeting.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay. So I guess then we have consensus, and we can meet next week.
Yeah.
So let's do part 1 next week.
Okay, and I think that as we are moving forward with the portrait engine namespace by name, we can focus more those Monday meetings in the discussion about the cluster scope and the service selector one. So as Jay said, I think that we are going to have like probably 10 more meetings about that. So this one is going to be just the start, right? The first one with a broader public.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So the next item from the agenda is the service selector. So I've made a mess. I thought that Andrew from Red Hat told that he was going to deal with that, but it wasn't Andrew. I think that was Vinay, maybe.
Yeah. So for the service selector, I think one of my team members, Satish, was going to. Sorry, is that the topic we're talking about? Service? Yeah, Satish is, and I guess the first step is to do a little write-up, I guess, for this, right? Or use cases. What did you have in mind?
Yeah. So we have some use cases, some user stories, but I think that the best move that we can do with this one is like consolidate this one the same way that Gobind made with the FQDN selector.
Okay.
So we can like have a document, a pre-cap, like a pre-cap from Kubernetes, but specifying the service selector and what kind of problem we are trying to solve, how we imagine this being designed in the API, how do we imagine like, okay, we are going to use service selector that's going to point to endpoints or something like that. So I think this is like a start. So
by the way, so just as an FYI, we already have the write-up that is needed for that. I just trying to fit. If there is, I guess what I need to do is I'm looking for maybe a template. If there's a template that you guys are using, I can do that. Or if you rather that we use something like what we did for FQDN, cluster scope policy, I'll do that. Either way, it's fine.
Yeah, I think that we don't have a template. So
Okay.
I think that the best way is like use the same document from the FQDN one,
Okay.
but because I think it was really
Right.
clear about what we are trying to achieve.
Right.
So if you wanna, I've
So
seen
you
in the
can put
slide.
Satish and Vinay, both of our names down this. We'll get it out. We already have the write up. I'm just gonna talk to Gobin internally circle and Abhishek. We'll sort it out.
Okay. You want me to put an AI for you here?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah.
So is this usually done on a Google Doc, or like is there a draft GitHub repository for this?
Okay, this is a great question. So we have we've started to open an issue in J's repo because we don't have like an official repo to follow the roadmap from this one. So we decided to open this in a J's repo in GitHub. But we have like we are doing this as a Google Doc. So let me. I can share the link with you and sorry, docs. I think probably it's better to find here FQDN here. Yeah. So this is the I'm gonna send to you in chat also in Zoom chat. So
yeah,
I think it's a good template because it covers the context, it covers the API proposal. Probably we just miss here the user story, why we are trying to do this. Okay.
Right.
And as soon as you have this, we can discuss this in the next meeting, save something like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Okay.
Whatever you need. And then we can send this to SIG Network mailing list. So we have like a broader public and people is going to start commenting here as they did with Gobin document here. Like,
okay.
So, okay.
There's one more topic that I wanted to bring up in addition to, so there was also talk about selecting pods using service accounts. Like there is a namespace selection, like service selection. There was another option that was to use allow a proposal to like allow selection of pods using service accounts. That would be a separate topic. Yeah.
Yeah, is there some issue, some user story about this one, because I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a user story. It's just like we're trying to make it all in open source, at least from the Google perspective. So we would like to lead it, like what's going on in the service. I mean, we use service accounts for a lot of GCP related features anyhow. So for us, like we are planning to do that for the pods also. So we like to start off by using getting comments from everyone. And I think there are some vendors also who might be doing that. I'm not sure, but I think there's some vendors who might be already be supporting it. So it may be useful to get like a generally agreed API for this. So I will, what we can do is we can start off. I would like to, I'm happy to work with anyone who's willing to work with us. We have some user stories. Like Abhishek, Andrew, anyone interested, let me know. We can get a write-up. I don't know if I can get the write-up done for this thing by next week, but next week we'll definitely get the service selector done. But this is an area that we can, we are interested in, like working in the open source community.
Okay. I'm curious about this one. I am on vacation this week, so if you want to ping me in Slack,
okay,
I will be probably around. So I'm curious about how is this going to work? What's the idea about this one? If
so
this is...
I'm not on Slack, so if you can tell me, is there a, send me like a link to the DAO and I'll ping you on that.
Yeah, you can send me an email.
Okay.
I've sent to you in
email.
So
yeah.
I am bad at email at all, but
okay.
we can speak about that. Yeah.
Sure. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. There's also we have a Google Doc of all the accepted user stories. So I think the next step would be maybe adding a suggestion in there with the user stories that you mentioned, and then we can go through it. You know, like we can iterate over it during the calls, and then eventually accept the user story, which would mean
this one, right, Andrew?
Yeah. So I think just just maybe add the user story directly in here as a suggestion, and then we can go over it.
Yeah, actually, if you go down further, Andrew, like this is something that I was talking to Tim about, Tim Hawken, and he put a comment there to like if you go all the way down at the bottom. So if so
Okay.
so he was said like a select the service account, like this topic he was suggesting like we should. So it does. Tim was involved in this decision too. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, but yeah, like I think we should just get it added to this doc so we can.
Okay, so let me. That I can take care of that. Cool.
Yeah, add this as a different user story, so we can like separate them from the idea of services and the like. I want to select everything that's behind a service. Like I want to select from my ingress. My ingress controller. I wanna use like I wanna select for specific endpoints that are selected by a service object instead of a selector, and you might have this one. Yeah, you don't need to do this as a reviewer. You can put as an editor if you want. Okay, Vinay. So that's
yeah, I can. Yeah, I don't think I have edit access, but I can do suggesting. So
I think so, because anyone can comment. Okay, yeah. So go ahead, and we can pass through it.
You just put like vbanai@gmail.com, or and give me edit access. I can
This one?
V as in Victor, BANNAI. No.
This?
No.
Yeah. I am bad at spelling. Yeah.
Drop it in the Zoom chat, and I'll add it in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
I am bad at English spelling. Sorry. Okay. So, do we have anything else for today?
I can provide a quick update on FQDN. We got some, so Andrew and I have been working on that as well. And we had a proposal that was looking pretty good actually. It addressed a lot of the comments that were originally left. By the way, thank you to the community for that. And we thought it was a pretty good proposal, but I think when we spoke to a customer, so I met some customers about this, and it sounded like it wasn't going to be enough to just do it at the DNS layer, and they actually wanted implemented at the in the data plane. They wanted completely enforced. So it's not just that the DNS said, okay, I'm not going to give you the answer to this query, then it's good enough. It's not. So they want stricter guarantees around it, and that's why I think the solution will have to be thought about a little more, because it is tricky. It's not straightforward to do this. So that's what I think we'll have to take another look at it. So Andrew, I'll reach out to you with more details on this, and whoever else wants to help out with this. I think we'll have some folks from the Google team also joining this effort. But I just wanted to provide that update that I think we'll have to do a little bit more sort of redesign work.
Yeah, sounds good.
Any questions from others?
I think it'd be helpful to, I don't know how much you're allowed to share around like the customer requirements there, but I think it'd be great if we can outline why why it has to be enforced on the data plane and what requirements they have that would
Right. So I think the requirement. So I'm happy to share all the information that we got, but I think the primary requirement was that they want it eliminated. Like they want the possibility eliminated of you being able to get out to that IP, whether you got the answer from DNS or not is kind of irrelevant. So they're calling it an FQDN policy, but they don't really care if DNS as a component was involved with it. As long as those IPs are restricted in the data plane, that anybody cannot just go out to those IPs, and they're guaranteed about that behavior, then they'll be happy with it. So that was kind of the context behind it. I don't know if I explained it very well.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, it sounds like it's more of a just a generic network policy problem. Like they want to restrict traffic, but I guess they want to do it based on what you can resolve.
Yeah, exactly. So effectively, we'll have to go back to some sort of a network policy-based solution where, you know, we get some DNS resolutions and we sort of end up coding up network policies on the customer's behalf.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's not very like it doesn't feel very satisfying, but I think that'll probably be the best way to think about it. Anyway, you know, I'll take it offline with you, and then we can figure out how to push this forward in terms of API and implementation.
But do they expect something like a real-time change, like every single request with a DNS, it changes also the rule based on the IP, or like they are okay with having some sort of delay, like if I change my service IP and then I change this in DNS, respecting the TTL or something like that. You know about that?
So I think the sensitivity to time is, it can go either way depending on what kind of a customer you're talking to. Some customers are, say, you know, very very sort of cloud native about this, and they say, yeah, it's okay, I understand, you know, like a minute or two is fine, you know. But in some cases, like a financial institution will be like, yeah, hell no, right? Like there cannot be any delay. So I think because it's a security thing, we have to serve the tightest guarantee. So I think the best way to solve this would be to make sure that it works for the most stringent case, which is it needs to be in lockstep with DNS.
I feel like just by nature of the protocol, like it has to be one or the other. Like I can't think of a way we would enforce policy like at the data plane level, like at the close to the like the network interface, without being out of sync with DNS just based on like TTLs and whatever, right? But yeah, maybe we're just solutioning at this point. So
yeah. I just wanted to provide that update that, you know, we did actually get some feedback from customers, and I think the proposal that Andrew and I have been sort of working on, I don't think it'll satisfy that requirement. So we'll have to sort of do some re-engineering.
Okay.
Is there any value in like is there any value in like, are you saying it was multiple? Yeah, it was a lot of customers or just one customer?
But this particular case, it was one customer that I spoke to, and you know, there are some other customers who have requested something similar.
Okay.
So maybe this is asking for much though, but like out of the other customers that we have asking for this, would it be possible to figure out if they have the same requirements as the customer that requires the resolution to happen like at the data path level?
I think it's certainly worth taking a look. You know, I think it'll probably just take some time, but one way or the other, I think we have to come up with an alternative solution. So yeah, I mean, certainly we can, you know, get some more information around this. But I think we'll like even some of the instincts that I've heard from, you know, people who've been in the security industry, you know, it felt like the right way to do this was in the data plane, because they don't want any sort of loophole where you don't go through FQDN, but I don't know, you figure out through curl or something, and you can, I don't know, you can resolve it through going to some other IP address, get those IPs, and then you can exit out to those IPs. So I think that was really the essence of this comment. And once I understood where they were coming from, I figured every customer would probably say the exact same thing. So I didn't bother with.
Why couldn't you do like a redundant thing where like the V0 is the thing that you all came up with, and then you did the Dan Winship controller thing that sent notifications to the CNI, and then the CNI could make its own IP address, like blocking rules before like, why couldn't you kind of do both, right? Like you would do the original thing you all have that sort of works so that people could use it and play with it. And then you have an extra CNI level notification that happens so that, you know, not only is DNS not returning properly, but, you know, in the V1 of this, you do some kind of a controller callback thing, right? Like like it seems like the core functionality of the V0 that y'all proposed. I mean, I didn't see the proposal, but if it's what I remember, it seems like that, even if it's not like 100% secure, you get the API earned out that way for the most part, right? And you could totally have redundant. I mean, security is all about having redundant layers of protection, right?
Fair point. I think the API by itself is sort of independent of this. So we're still, the API by itself, I think we're relatively sort of confident. I think of what we want to propose. I think the implementation of it, which was what was the ask in the proposal by many folks, was like, how we actually are going to implement it and what guarantees we provide. I think that's really been the key question of this proposal, and that's what we want to address. And given the fact that it's a security feature, it just seemed like we have to do the right thing from day one. Like it's just not something we can iterate on, I guess, because people are kind of running this in production software, and we want to make sure that they have the guarantees that they expect.
They could just not run it in production from day one, right? Like the API comes out, and then in day 2, you have a better version of the API that is ready. That's what I'm thinking. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, it's certainly something to consider. I think what we'll do is like from here, we'll take this feedback and any other feedback, and then iterate on this, figure out how we can sort of split this into different phases if we have to, or if it makes sense, we can get there fast enough equally, then might as well go the whole thing, do the whole thing together.
Yeah, because I bet the CNI providers would be real excited about that, right? Like they'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool. Y'all got like an API created. Well, guess what? We can do one better. We can not only enforce this API, but we can also have an upsell thing, and then everybody wins, right? The businesses win, the vendors win, the customer wins, everybody wins, right?"
Yeah, so I think maybe that's the right way to do this, where like, the proposal just says, here's the API and here's the sort of exact interpretation and semantics of this, and then we just sort of get that approved, and then people can just go implement it however they want, right, in their own CNI.
Yeah, and we could put an E2E test in. We love testing network policies over here, right? So we'd love to add some tests that basically say, well, what if we spoof the DNS thing in there? You write a test so that when people run the validation, right, it actually is aware that there's a hack around if somebody hasn't completely implemented this API, where you can resolve.conf the damn DNS record into the thing and then work around the fact that they're only blocking the response. They're not blocking the actual IP. And then you would be able to detect CNI providers that didn't intend the thing that you're saying, that customer wanted, right? So we give them a full-blown upstream solution to their problem, right? Even though the downstream bits may not have been fully worked out yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we can, Andrew and I can just sort of figure out what the API should be, and then we'll just specify as much of it as possible in terms of how it should be implemented, and then we'll just let the providers take it from there with our end-to-end tests. Yeah,
definitely. Once it's time to write those tests, let me know, like loop me in on it, and I'll help. I mean, I'll build the tests for sure.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Cool. Any other questions? Cool. All right. Thanks for the feedback, everyone.
Okay. So one last comment, Abhishek. I've added an AI for you to send an email to SIG Network inviting folks for the next meeting on Monday, saying that we are probably going to discuss about the cluster scoped policies. I don't know if this is the idea, but we can gather some good feedbacks about this one. Like we can dedicate the next meeting for only this discussion. I'm okay with that.
Sounds like a good idea. I'll do that this week.
Okay, so is everyone okay to us to dedicate the next meeting only for the cluster scoped policies discussion? Okay, so no one against. Great. So let me just add this here, that we are going to dedicate this to cluster scoped, and I think this is all, folks. Thank you everyone for coming, and have a nice week. See you, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thanks.